As you probably know, I am from Whittier, California, named for John Greenleaf Whittier, Quaker abolitionist poet. I had originally intended just to read his poem Barbara Frietchie, but in light of the recent protests, I have also added the poem Laus, written to commemorate the end of slavery. Up from the meadows rich with corn, clear in the cool September morn, the clustered spires of Frederick stand, green-walled by hills of Maryland. Round about them orchards sweep, apple and peach tree fruited deep. Fair is the garden of the Lord to the eyes of the famished rebel horde. On that pleasant morn of early fall, when Lee marched o'er the mountain wall. Over the mountains winding down, horse and foot into Frederick town. 40 flags with their silver stars, 40 flags with their crimson bars. Flapped in the morning wind the sun of noon looked down, and saw not one. Up rose old Barbara Frietchie then, bowed with her 80 years and 10. Bravest of all in Frederick town, she took up the flag the men hauled down. In her attic window the staff she set, to show that one heart was loyal yet. Up the street came the rebel tread, Stonewall Jackson riding ahead. Under his slouched hat left and right, he glanced, the old flag met his sight. Halt! The dust-brown ranks stood fast. Fire! Out blazed the rifle blast. It shivered the window pane and sash, it rent the banner with seam and gash. Quick as it fell from the broken staff, Dame Barbara snatched the silken scarf. She leaned far out on the window sill, and shook it with a royal will. Shoot if you must this old gray head, but spare your country's flag, she said. A shade of sadness, a blush of shame, over the face of the leader came. The nobler nature within him stirred to life at that woman's deed and word. Who touches a hair of yon gray head dies like a dog. March on, he said. All day long through Frederick Street sounded the tread of marching feet. All day long that free flag tossed over the heads of the rebel host. Ever its torn folds rose and fell on the loyal winds that loved it well. And through the hill gap's sunset light shone over it with a warm good night. Barbara Frietchie's work is o'er, and the rebel rides on his raids no more. Peace and order and beauty draw round thy symbol of light and law. And ever the stars above look down on the stars below in Frederick town. Honor to her, and let a tear fall for her sake on Stonewall's bier. Over Barbara Frietchie's grave, flag of freedom and union wave. And now, Laus Deo. It is done. Clang of bell and roar of gun send the tidings up and down. How the belfries rock and reel, how the great guns peal on peal, fling the joy from town to town. Ring, O bells! Every stroke exulting tells of the burial hour of crime. Loud and long that all may hear, ring for every listening ear, of eternity and time. Let us kneel. God's own voice is in that peal, and the spot is holy ground. Lord, forgive us, what are we, that our eyes this glory see, that our ears have heard the sound? For the Lord on the whirlwind is abroad, in the earthquake he has spoken. He has smitten with his thunder the iron walls asunder, and the gates of brass are broken. Loud and long, lift the old exulting song, sing with Miriam by the sea. He has cast the mighty down, horse and rider sink and drown. He hath triumphed gloriously. Did we dare, in our agony of prayer, ask for more than he has done? When was ever his right hand, over any time or land, stretched as now beneath the sun? How they pale, ancient myth and song and tale, in the wonder of our days, when the cruel rod of war blossoms white with righteous law, and the wrath of man is praised. Blotted out, all within and all about shall a fresher life begin. Freer breathe the universe as it rolls its heavy curse on the dead and buried sin. It is done! In the circuit of the sun shall the sound thereof go forth. It shall bid the sad rejoice, it shall give the dumb a voice, it shall belt with joy the earth. Ring and swing, O bells of joy, on morning's wing. Send the sound of praise abroad. With the sound of broken chains, tell the nations that he reigns, who alone praise Lord God.